Well, we had our first cup final. It's come and gone, and I guess we'll have to report on that as someone's going to be upset. Also have some Premier League to cover before we do a little bit of FA Cup talk. We're touching everything today, guys. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. With me tonight, that's Brad. He supports Chelsea. And down below, that's Sean. He supports Tottenham. Boys, what's up, man? How you guys doing?
You're gonna get the production edit crew to edit that out, right? At the beginning.
What did I say?
You ended the entry with "We're touching everything, boys."
Oh.
Dang.
Oh. Yeah, we're just gonna edit that out, right?
Yeah.
In post-production. Post-production.
The people will never. They'll never hear that. They'll never hear that.
Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure.
Yes. And so since you guys are wondering what you just didn't hear, hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell, in case you're just stumbling across us. This is the quality that you get with Red Card Radio every week, and you definitely want to be alerted to new episodes. We have 3 releases every week, and this is what you get every week. So definitely hit the subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell if you are on one of the podcast sites. Drop a 5-star review if your platform so allows. Definitely hit it with a follow, share it, all that good stuff, and get in the YouTube comments because we'd love to hear from you guys. We've got quite a few comments that we will talk about in tomorrow's episode, in the news episode, but definitely do all those things that normal internet people would ask you to do. So the first point that we should address will be we're going to start with the League Cup final between Newcastle United and Manchester United. It was the battle of the Uniteds. Whoever won got to continue to refer to themselves as United, and the other one henceforth was not allowed to use United. Right? That's what we decided.
I thought the media had already decided that beforehand, and I don't think they were wrong.
So
being united over being united.
Precisely. Yeah. So game was 11:30 on Sunday from Wembley Stadium in London. Everyone say hello to my cat, who is just deciding to scream right when we start recording the podcast.
Wonderful content.
Classic cat move. Okay. So game was Sunday. Basically, United kind of, I think, Manchester United wins the game 2-0. They were clinical. Is that probably, I think, the way to describe them? I think the game was fairly even. I think United just were more clinical than Newcastle United. Quick caveat from last week's episode. We did have Joel join us last week, and we did some predictions beforehand. Brad and Sean, I should say Sean predicted 2-1 for Newcastle, and then Brad copied Sean. Also predicted 2-1. Joel predicted 1-0 to Newcastle, though he'll tell us in the comments that that was his heart speaking. I was the only one that predicted a Manchester United victory. So Manchester United won 3-1 in my prediction. So technically, I'm closest because I picked the right team.
But you went over.
Just throwing that out there. I got the margin of victory correct though. 2 goals.
Yeah, I agree. We had some things going on Sunday. I was only able to watch a portion of it, but the comment that stuck out to me, or the comment that came to mind watching the game is, this is what happens when you fill your team with $70 to $100 million players versus when you fill your team with $40 to $50 million players. Like, it's just slightly better.
Yeah.
And you could that just shone through.
And especially when you think about it, like over the course of a single game, like that quality is what's going to win out. Whereas over the course of a 38 game season, Newcastle, they may finish above Manchester United. They might not finish above Manchester United. We'll see. But like, especially in a one-off game, that quality does, I think, tends to come to the front.
I don't think I'm out of line of saying that it was fairly visible that Casemiro was the best player on the field. He was very commanding of the game in almost every aspect. I mean,
we should expect that
from the
right?
goal. Removed from the goal, he was very in command of the game and controlling it in whichever way he felt necessary.
I mean, the man has won how many Champions Leagues? Like
Yeah.
5. Like, so the man is obviously seasoned. So you would expect that commanding presence from him. I don't think Newcastle. I mean, obviously the Newcastle supporters will be upset. This was their first chance at domestic silverware in over 60 years. So like, obviously that's upsetting, and losing to Manchester United is never fun in that context. But in the same sense with when they played Liverpool in the league, when Newcastle played Liverpool in the league last weekend and they went down to 10 men, they played exceptionally well. They commanded the second half of that Liverpool match. And I'm not saying that they commanded the second half of the League Cup final, but they were in it. They were making chances, they were creating. It was just really just that last bit of finishing, I think, which is what set them apart. So I think we will be seeing Newcastle in and around cup finals and honestly fighting for the league, I think, at this point in perpetuity, just based on the all the other external factors surrounding Newcastle. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with that.
Yeah, we definitely will be seeing them up there much sooner than both James and I predicted.
Well, hold on. What was the
we said 5 years. It would take them more than 5 years to get Champions League.
What, to be fighting for the Champions League or to qualify?
No, to qualify.
They may still not qualify this year, but yeah, I mean, it does seem like that they're having a great season this year. So
yeah, I think we said in 5 years they'd have Europe.
It's just the problem with England is so deep, right? Like this is a season.
That's when we had that conversation. Yeah,
this is a season where Chelsea are performing horribly, Liverpool are performing horribly, and so like it's not a stretch to think that had those things not happened, that Newcastle wouldn't be where they are right now. But we're gonna.
Did you guys see the video of Casemiro fussing at Fernandes for something? I missed the context of it, but it was during a celebration, either after the goal or after the game.
Okay.
But Casemiro pulled Fernandes aside and was like, "Hey, listen," and like there's a little finger wagging situation going on.
I mean, Casemiro he's got
leadership.
He's got that clout. So like, even if Bruno is wearing the armband, Casemiro is really, I think, dictating that show.
Yeah.
Should we turn our attention to the Premier League?
Sure.
So lots of games this weekend. Maybe, most importantly, we had a London derby between two clubs. Maybe we'll touch on that towards the end. But
I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing that happened this weekend.
The weekend kicked off on Friday. We had Fulham Wolves. That game ended 1-1. Saturday was Everton Villa from Goodison. Aston Villa win 2-0. Leeds Southampton in a relegation rumble. Leeds get the ever important 1-0 victory. Leicester Arsenal. Arsenal kind of grind out a 1-0 victory against Leicester. West Ham Forest. What, Brad?
Nothing. I saw Leicester's XG from that game.
Yeah.
I guess grinding out was probably defense. I didn't watch the game clearly because I worked all weekend, but
we'll touch on it. So West Ham Forest in another relegation rumble. West Ham get a resounding 4-0 victory against Forest. Bournemouth City, Manchester City win 4-1. Palace Liverpool. That game was an enthralling back and forth, like barn burner, 0-0 draw. And then the Premier League weekend rounded out Sunday morning with Spurs hosting Chelsea. Not Antonio Conte's men hosting Graham Potter's men, and Spurs get the 2-0 victory in that match, which brings us to the league table. And let me get that pulled up for everybody real quick. Oh, that's not the right window. There we go. Apologies, YouTube friends, for that mishap. But so league table looks like this. We have Arsenal in first position on 57 points. Manchester City are in second on 55 points, though one additional game played. Manchester United are in third. Tottenham are in 4th. Newcastle are in 5th, though they have 2 games in hand on Tottenham. They sit 4 points behind Tottenham. So if Newcastle were to collect all of the points available to them, they would jump above Tottenham, and they would only be 2 points behind Manchester United, though United would have a game in hand. Anyway, Fulham are in 6th. Liverpool up to 7th. Liverpool are they're the tiger in the weeds, right? They're dangerous. Brighton are in 8th. Brentford are in 9th. Chelsea. They're tied for 10th now on points with Aston Villa, though they stay 10th on goal difference. Villa are in 11th. Crystal Palace are in 12th. Nottingham Forest are in 13th. Leicester are in 14th. Wolves 15th. West Ham out of the relegation zone. They are feeling pretty good about themselves. They're in 16th. Leeds are in 17th. Everton are down into 18th on 21 points. Bournemouth are down to 19th on 21 points. And still at the bottom, still Southampton, still on 18 points. So that's what the league table looks like. I guess, because of the company that we have, we probably should start at the new White Hart Lane. We should probably dissect that one first. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree.
Yeah.
Sure.
We can get into my pain and misery early.
Well, I said towards the onset of the game that it started out a little chippy, and I mentioned to you guys, I said, this is our chippy, this is our hate London derby. Yeah. Because it almost feels like when we play Arsenal, it's business-like. This is the result we have to get. Let's get on the field. Let's get it. Yeah, there is absolutely hate. The fans fuel that, I think, more than the players. But it almost visually looks like to the players, it's business-like. Let's get in here. Let's get these 3 points. Let's get out of here. But the Chelsea one seems to be, that's the Sox Yankees. That's the Capitals Penguins. That's the ones where the players don't like each other. And that's what it feels like visually when you watch the games.
Because that's what it's been for the past few years. Like, what was it? The Battle at the Bridge?
What was that? 16? The 2016 one. It got really chippy to a point where Dele Alli lost his cool, and we ended up losing. Finishing 3rd that year in a year that we should have been battling Leicester for the title. But yeah, and I had the thought that it almost seemed like the Chelsea players weren't expecting that, and I wondered if that was because your roster's so transient that everyone's basically new, that they don't know that Tottenham are going to be rough with them.
Yeah. So with that point, because when you said that, I was like, well, let me look who's on the roster, right? So Kai Havertz, maybe.
He might know,
but does he care? Here's the question.
He doesn't care.
I'm with you. That's why he's a maybe, right?
Okay.
Ziyech, he don't care. Ziyech don't care. Like, his jersey could be pink, and he's like, whatever. It's the same to him. João Felix, Raheem Sterling. Sterling might know, but has never been into it, right?
Yeah,
like, he's never had a game like that. Enzo Fernandez just got here. No. João Felix, no. Ben Chilwell is not the type, right? Like, Ben Chilwell's
his name says it all.
Left back. He's right. Like, he's not ready for that. Koulibaly don't know. Koulibaly has no idea. Loftus-Cheek definitely knows, but it's Loftus-Cheek, right? Like,
Reece James knows.
Reece James definitely knows, and Thiago Silva definitely knows. So and Kepa, but he's the goalie, so who cares?
Yeah.
Out of 10 outfield players, 3 know what is coming.
Know what's coming.
One of them got injured.
Yeah.
And so one of them shouldn't have been on the field. So one player out of 10, out of 9, actually knew what this was about. So I agree with you. Like, I didn't get to catch the first half, but when you said that, I was like, that probably sounds correct, because they didn't know. And when I watched like the second half, you could just see it. Like,
they finally started to respond, but it was because they were getting tired of it. The ref was letting them play. Romero was doing his thing.
Stuart Atwell did ref a good game from what I saw. Like, he let it be played, and I liked, like, it was even on both sides. He wasn't making bad calls or anything like that. you're gonna get. I see your face. I didn't see the first half. I'm telling you, I saw the second half, so I didn't see the ZX stuff. But you want to go ahead now? Go ahead.
My only question is that it seems unforgivable for a team of Chelsea's stature to know what a Big Six match is. So regardless of knowing what Tottenham versus Chelsea is specifically, like you know that Tottenham are a rival for a top 4 spot every year. It's a given now. It seems unforgivable to me that the players who have been brought in would not play up to that level in the first half.
So
right?
I think you're
I meant specifically in the turn.
Yeah, you're confusing.
I'm not.
Like getting up to the level and then being like knowing that it's going to be like a bloodbath.
Yeah, you got to be ready.
I was speaking specifically to the physicality.
Yeah, you have to be ready for that, in my opinion. This is
Sean,
English.
You and I are on the same page. I agree with you. English football is rougher, and so like you're expecting a rough game, but I don't think those players like a João Felix is not going to expect that type of game.
Why not?
I actually had this thought too. Watching replays, it reminded me that I had this thought during the game. João Felix is adapting a lot better than I thought somebody who is that small would. Yes, it's not that he had a great impact on the game. He just wasn't invisible. He had moments. And he's slippery. He just kind of gets in and out of these big bodies around him, and I was impressed by it.
Yeah, but he's not going like we didn't have a bully on the field.
Yeah, you didn't have.
We had Reece James on the field. That was our bully on the right side. That's it. We didn't have a Rudiger. Yeah. We didn't have a Kovacic to like set that tone.
I don't know. It seems to me that Thiago Silva needs to be setting that tone.
And who was out in the 15th minute or 12th minute?
20th, yeah.
Yeah, so that should be galvanizing, right?
It was. Look, I'm in church. My phone buzzes and I'm like, oh yeah, the game's on. Let me turn my phone on to airplane mode. I see, Thiago Silva's out the game injured. All right, we lost. Airplane mode, back in my pocket, turn to my buddy. I'm like, Chelsea's going to lose. He's like, no, you guys are playing great. Like XG is the same. So Thiago Silva's injured. We're going to lose. Like, I don't trust Koulibaly to organize the back line.
Okay, so this is my grander question is how were you not ready for the match? Like, how is Chelsea not ready for the match? And is it Graham Potter's fault? If you're telling me that they were ready for the intensity of the match but weren't ready for the battle of the match, then to me that's not being ready for the match, because both they go hand in hand.
To back up James's point, like to my delight, I like that we play this way. Personally, I like a gritty team that's you're gonna feel playing us the day after. I like that as a fan. We've been doing it for 8 years.
Yeah.
It is not something new. Potter knows this. That's not something that's going to be new to Graham Potter. So to add that with a rivalry game, I think James's point is well made.
Yeah. Yes, but also we have issues, right?
So what? Yeah, what are these issues?
We just went through this list of players of the 10 outfield players that played, and I had 3 that truly gave a crap.
So why is it?
Not necessarily gave a crap, but like because Chilwell probably cares, but he's not the type, right? That's what I said. So 4 players that care that have been there, right? We have a 33-man squad, and so like we can sit here and pick 7 other players for the outfield, and none of us would be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like all of us would be like, oh yeah, you can do that. That makes sense. Like it's too big. The rotations don't help, but you kind of like Graham Potter's in that weird stage where he can't necessarily like cut all of the people that aren't going to be in the squad because you still have to move them on. right? Like we can't cut 10 players. We have to be able to sell them for something. So like you still have to be playing them so that they still have some sort of value in the summer.
I see
right?
I see the point, but you also have to succeed in the now.
Right. But then and you're also having 33 players that all have a shout at playing and could have an argument for playing, all have to train. You're training 33 players, not 20, not 22, not 25. 33. You're playing 3 different teams.
This is a problem of Chelsea's making.
It's you're not wrong. This is what we ran into.
Like
by buying what we did, how like
I don't know,
accelerating this rebuild means we like decelerated this year. So saying all of these things, I am still Potter in, and I will continue to be Potter in unless Chelsea is relegated.
Chelsea's not getting relegated.
For how long? For how long though? Are you going to give him all of this year and all of next year?
Yes.
Will you accept missing out on the Champions League for 2 straight seasons as a Chelsea fan? Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Interesting.
As we see progress. This year, I'm writing off. Like there isn't.
So you could finish 17th and not care about this year.
Yeah.
Okay. So say you finish 17th this year and 8th next year. Don't care?
Progress.
17th and 16th?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Chelsea are not going to finish 17th this year. But like if you finish 9th, 10th this year, whatever you guys are right now.
I would love to finish 10th instead of 7th.
Yeah. Okay. There's external factors. Certainly.
Right? Like I'm here, like 10th, I'm fine with 10th. I'm fine with 11th. I'm fine with 12th.
That's wild.
This year.
Wow.
That is.
Okay. It's just wild.
Wait a second. Well, I think if we rewind this conversation to 2 years ago, when you guys were fighting for 7th, it's like, no, I don't want 7th. I'd rather have 8th, 9th, 10th. How is this wild?
Because Arsenal's squad and Chelsea's squad were radically different 3 years ago.
Chelsea's problems are definitely different than I think probably any club has had to deal with.
I disagree.
Also,
you guys have a you have a squad full of players who feel like they're in charge, and this has been the problem for 5 years.
This is starting to get rid of.
That's the same exact issue that Arsenal had when they sacked Unai Emery and they brought Arteta in. It was a squad full of overpaid players who thought that they were in charge.
Yes.
And so the difference is that our squad was 20 players and your squad is 30 players.
33. Yes.
So I don't know. I think that there are some comparisons that can be drawn to Arsenal a couple years ago. I don't know if I trust Graham Potter to be the guy to sort that out.
I do. And you brought him as a long-term solution.
I think a good way to illustrate that, Brad, is I don't know a thing about Mudryk.
Yeah.
Other than how he appears in the couple of games that I've seen him. But I think your problem is I'd rather have Kulusevski because that man works his butt off. And Mudryk may work out. Maybe he does work his butt off. But now you're entrusting that to $100 million signing who now feels entitled because he was overpaid for.
I think the bigger issue is that he's got the weight of the £100 million price tag, 100 million euro price tag, whatever it is. It's not necessarily self-imposed. It's going to be externally inflicted upon him in the same way that Grealish gets the stick for being 100 million pounds.
Yeah. Yep.
Since November, he's had 120 minutes of football.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I'm not writing off Mudryk either. He could be fine. And his work rate could be amazing.
I don't think you can say yes or no to Kulusevski because we haven't seen like Mudryk.
Yeah, that's unfair to Mudryk. I tried to admit that up front.
Okay.
But I would rather have Kulusevski because
in this moment you're probably correct.
Yeah, like Kulusevski's at ease. He came over on a normal transfer and he's working his butt off to prove to the new manager that he's worth it. And is Mudryk going to do that? I don't know. We'll see. It's like you said. It's been a couple of
he
subs and
and had what 5? He He doubled the amount of crosses Chelsea had in the 7 minutes he played.
He looks wrong. I actually thought Mount as a sub really helped you. Like, I thought he looked fine.
Look, like I get João Felix is super slippery. The one decision, like the two decisions, there's three players that I probably would have swapped for this game.
Okay. I think Mount is one of them. I would have had
Mason Mount playing instead of João Felix because Mason Mount is going to fight.
Conor Gallagher.
He's there to fight. Conor Gallagher over Loftus-Cheek. Yep. And then Maduke put Sterling on the right and put Mudryk in on the left and tell Ziyech to walk off to wherever he wants to go.
Yeah.
But here's the problem is Ziyech is a really good trader during the week, right? Like he trains really well. So like, it's hard to make that decision. Like if you're looking on form and you're looking on training, you're like, oh, Ziyech should play because he's doing great in training. And then
after the thought process, I'm assuming that Kovacic is injured.
Yes, Kovacic is sick. Kovacic was sick, so he could not play.
Okay.
Yes, I think Kovacic starts over Loftus-Cheek.
I didn't know that, but my first thought process after realizing that Chelsea were not up for this fight was, why didn't they play Conor Gallagher and Mason Mount and Kovacic? Like, why didn't they play their refrigerators that they have?
I think Enzo is starting. I think Enzo is going to start every single game. Like he has to.
Agreed.
I came away from that game thinking they just wasted $70 million. Enzo is awful. Enzo is awful. I was like, that is not a good football player right now.
Enzo was the center.
He is young.
He is young. Did you look at our passing map? You know how it's normally the center backs that have the ball? It was him. He had the most possession on the ball. No, what he needs is like a Conte, Declan,
he's claiming. Okay.
A Højbjerg. He needs like a DM next to him that can that frees him up to do the things he does. But
we do have to address the elephant in the room that Ziyech punched a man and was allowed to it's a textbook. Like I'm not like, oh god, it ruined. Football's ruined, but like. That's the easiest red card. Like
I don't know.
Right in front of him.
Hold on. I have a question. You're saying a punch to the face is a red, but last week you said a kick to the face is not a red. Just want to put that out there.
That was not a direct
Just want to put that out there.
That was an. Can you punch the ball into the goal? No.
Yes. I don't know if you've seen Maradona's hand of God.
Oh, get out of here. No, that is entirely different. That was a stopped play left cross versus a attempted bicycle.
Yeah, the difference was that you had a hand that was at like 6 feet in one situation. And
as opposed to a foot at 8 feet?
Yeah, a foot at 6.5 feet. Yeah, very different situation.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going to push back slightly on a punch. I'm going to push back
slightly.
It was
a shove.
It was a shove that rolled off of the shoulder and into the face. It was not closed fist. It was meant to be a push, but the push just rolled off of the shoulder and up into the face. Like
to also be fair for our loyal listeners, I have admitted to the group that when the review was called, I thought it was to also give Royal a red because he just storms into the back of him.
That would have been a really fun game had that happened, like a 10 versus 10.
Yeah,
well, maybe because for that.
We lose a defender, you lose an attacker. Yeah, that's fun for me. But I legitimately thought, I was like, oh, they're going to send Royal off too.
Yeah.
And then they take back the red. And I was just like, what?
So
going
here's
on
my question.
Right now?
So like I said, I did not watch the first half. Ziyech was getting a yellow card.
He was pulling it out. I thought it was going to go to Havertz.
I've heard it was going to Ziyech. Is what I read on all like the subreddits and the Twitter accounts was that
the announcers thought it was because Havertz committed a foul just before the ball slips away and then Richarlison and Ziyech get tangled and then the whistle is blown. I thought the whistle was blown to stop play to go back to the previous foul is what I thought.
Okay.
And he does have the cards in his hand, but the problem was Ziyech stands over Richarlison right over top of him, and Richarlison's not going to have that, and stands up and gets right in his face.
Yeah.
And so now he's got the cards already in his hand. He's trying to get them separated.
Yeah.
So
that,
I think that's where they thought Ziyech was getting the first yellow.
Okay.
But I think that was going to Havertz because Havertz ended up with a yellow, I believe.
He did.
I mean,
yeah. So he went back to give the yellow, and then gave Royal a yellow for running in the back because the linesman saw that.
Yeah.
He went over and before he went to VAR, he went over and talked to the linesman, who said, "Yeah, Royal's probably got to get one too." Like he ran right into the back of him. So that's how it went.
Find a picture of it. Find a video of it, loyal listeners, and take a look at it. See what you think. See if you think VAR got that one right with overturning the red card. Because that to me, it seems like they got it right to me, that it was a clear and obvious error, that the ref probably thought it was a punch and that it wasn't actually a punch, so he downgraded it to a yellow card. That's my opinion. So I think VAR got that right.
Did he go look at the monitor?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm with.
Oh, no! I'm sorry. He did not look at the monitor. He was talking with VAR.
I mean, I'm still going to say it was right because it's a yellow.
No, he did go see. He did go look. I thought
he did go see the monitor. If he went to the monitor, then yes, I support whatever decision he made.
He went to the monitor.
Speaking of VAR, though,
this is where I wanted to go, Brad.
There was that call in the Arsenal Leicester game.
Yep.
With who the goalie had his arm held.
Ben White.
Didn't see it. Yeah, Ben White pulls the goalie's arm down.
So
while he's trying to reach for the save.
It's a corner kick. Arsenal corner.
Goal gets overturned.
Arsenal corner. Normal pushing and shoving. Goalkeeper punches the ball away, gets a full fist to it, has no problem jumping, gets a full fist to it, punches it away. It falls. I don't know if it falls directly to Trossard or someone else, but somehow the ball gets to Trossard. Trossard scores a worldie. Like it's probably up there with goal of the season contender that gets chalked off because VAR looks and sees that Ben White is doing this to the goalie's wrist. This is what Ben White is doing. It's like closer to the body. So like the goalie is trying to push Ben White away, and Ben White is like holding his wrist like this. This is all that Ben White is doing. So for people who are on the podcast, I'm showing on video. You've got a forearm that's like perpendicular to the body, or I guess parallel to the body, and then you've got four fingers on the front of the wrist and the thumb behind the wrist, and that's what Ben White is holding on the goalkeeper. And that was a clear and obvious error, a clear and obvious foul on the goalkeeper.
That was not seen by the refs.
Okay, so yes.
So I think I might have had this confused in the group chat saying VAR did his job. I think VAR got the call right, but I think as an American fan, as like a replay, like at a football, like a regular NFL football game, as a replay that the refs missed something, I think they did it right.
Okay.
As far as VAR is determined, I don't know if that was a clear and obvious error because there was no way for the refs to have seen it.
If the ref
that makes sense.
If the ref cannot see it and you think it's a foul, then and the ref goes and looks at the monitor and says, okay, yes, that's a foul, then it's a clear and obvious error because you couldn't see it. I have no grand issue with that one being called back. No grand issue. If you want to say that holding the wrist the way Ben White did is a foul on the goalkeeper, totally cool with it. But the foul on Saka 10 minutes later that was not called a penalty, where the defender is beat, trips, falls, wraps Saka on the penalty spot, drags him to the ground, not a foul on the field, not a clear and obvious error by VAR, and there's no penalty for it. That's real weird. That's pretty goofy to me. And then if we want to talk about fouls on goalkeepers, on corners, and holding on goalkeepers, there's Aston Villa scored a direct corner against Arsenal, where Ollie Watkins is legitimately has both of his hands wrapped around Aaron Ramsdale, and Aaron Ramsdale tries to punch a ball as it's going into the corner, into the goal from a direct free kick, and it was given on the field as a goal. The ref went to the monitor and said, no, that's not a clear and obvious error. That's not a foul. The ref went to the monitor and looked at it and said, that's not a foul. So if we're going to say that one hand grasping the wrist of a goalkeeper is a foul. Cool. But let's be consistent and say that if that's a foul, then wrapping a goalkeeper is a foul, pushing a goalkeeper is a foul, then we're going to have to disallow a lot of goals based on fouls on the goalkeeper, because that's it.
Hey,
you're setting the precedent. I'm okay if you want to set the precedent there. I'm cool with it. Fine. It doesn't matter. That's a foul. That's a foul. Let's just make sure that we're calling it evenly.
We are weeks and weeks of rapidly whipping the same dead horse.
Yes, it's our favorite thing to do.
But I would like to say, like, our two solutions both would work if you broadcasted and or published the communications between the VAR ref and the on-field ref,
Yes.
or did that alongside with independent other country refs. Like La Liga refs are the VAR refs. Like, because I had this thought of like, what if VAR is telling that on-field ref like, nah, man, this is not a foul. Like I thought it was. It's barely anything. Like it should be nothing. And then the on-field ref's like, nah, F that. And then he's like, it's like, what's the point of VAR then?
Yeah.
Like what if like in the Tottenham game, the VAR ref's like, this is absolutely red, like clinical red, straight up. He has to be off the field, but so does Royal. And then the ref's like, yeah, I don't want to ref a 10v10. Anyways, let me take that. Yeah, like they just like completely like arbitrarily make decisions based on their own feelings.
That's a good question. That's where publishing the communications.
Publishing the communications of like, yeah.
So
also back to this Leicester Arsenal game that you said Arsenal grinded out a victory.
I did.
Leicester's expected goals
hilarious
is 0.01.
Arsenal.
What?
That's a very
how is this a grind? Maybe it's a grind to get off shot, but you guys had shots. Like you guys had a ton of opportunities in this game. It was dominant. This isn't. I don't know if this is necessarily a grind. It's a 1-0 scoreline, so sure it's a grind.
Okay, so
like it's dominance.
Yes, I agree with you that we dominated Leicester, but last week, would you say that Manchester City dominated Nottingham Forest? Probably. And then they let 80th minute goal go in, and they win, and the game is drawn 1-1. So a 1-0 victory there's no margin there. So like Jamie Vardy could have come on the pitch and got a breakaway and scored a goal. So, yes, Arsenal were very good defensively. We were very good with the ball, but Leicester were also very good defensively. And we took we took our two opportunities, and one of them was allowed to count and the other one wasn't. But
I can echo that sentiment because watching the Chelsea game, I was watching it with a friend, and I thought, like, I felt very confident. Defensively we were very sound the entire game. I didn't legitimately feel scared for any of Chelsea's opportunities, although they had a handful. But it's still about the 65th minute. I turned to him and I was like, "We're gonna need a second."
Yeah,
like this is like a breakaway away from a João Felix breakaway from being tied up. Like we need that second, which came. But I can echo your sentiment there.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that second goal. I agree with you, James, when you said earlier our set piece coach has got to go because who puts Raheem Sterling on Harry Kane for a corner kick? Sorry, I had to get that in there. But before that, my shocked face was I actually looked at the stats of the Leicester Arsenal game.
Yeah.
And they had 0 corners.
Yep.
They only had 4 times offsides. They had 1 shot. So none on target.
Yes.
One shot.
They did put the ball in the back of the net. It was called offside, but they did put the ball in the back of the net. So but like that's my point, is that like one breakaway.
34% possession.
Yes, Arsenal slapped Leicester. I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying that when
68% pass accuracy. What?
When the margin,
I get you. I understand. The margins are thin. I get that. This is the Premier League, and any team can win on any given Saturday.
Yes.
I hear you.
All right, cool.
But
James's point is they still have Jamie Vardy.
Yes.
That's his point. Yes. Yep. At any moment, Jamie Vardy could be Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
And he's just streaking butt naked behind all 4 defenders, and he's just going to bang it home.
And then he's talking smack to Aaron Ramsdale all the way to the bank.
Yeah.
There was 104 players that
accumulated
a higher XG than Leicester City.
Yeah, I saw that. This weekend. This weekend.
Just this weekend.
Yeah.
Just this weekend.
That is a very comedic stat.
Y'all did not let the margins happen.
So, okay, we're going to turn our attention quickly to the FA Cup. So we've got FA Cup matches midweek. They're Tuesday and Wednesday this week. We've got Stoke, Brighton on Tuesday, Leicester, Blackburn, Fulham, Leeds, and Bristol City, Manchester City on Tuesday. On Wednesday, Southampton, Grimsby Town, Burnley, Fleetwood, Manchester United is against West Ham United, and then Sheffield United are hosting Tottenham Hotspurs. Rapid fire. So who is going to win the Premier League matchup between Fulham and Leeds?
Fulham.
Brad, Sean?
Fulham.
I think Leeds are going to win. Just to be contrary, do we think Leicester are going to get by Blackburn?
Yes.
No.
I'm taking no as well. How about Brighton and Stoke? Do we think Stoke beat Brighton?
No.
And
not unless it's a cold, rainy night in Stoke.
It's a cold, rainy night on Wednesday. This is a cold, rainy Wednesday in Stoke.
Cold, rainy Tuesday.
Sorry.
But Stoke can get shoved all the way back to Stoke, and they can go live in the caves where all of their fans belong. Yes.
Is there some feelings here, James? Some repressed feelings for Stoke City here?
Yeah, Stoke City can. Well, Brad's already said it. And Stoke can get fucked, and that's that's all I gotta say about Stoke.
All right, let's keep going. I like this.
Listeners, please let us know why you think James hates Stoke so bad in the comments. I would love to know. Wrong answers only. Why does James hate Stoke so much?
There's a right answer, and it revolves around a one Aaron Ramsey. So Southampton get by Grimsby Town.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grimsby Town are in the 4th tier.
Yeah, but Southampton suck. Okay. Manchester United versus West Ham United. It's Manchester United's second United derby in a row. Which United win?
West Ham.
It's Manchester United. Do you see Baldy in the cup?
Yeah, he was dancing.
Baldy's not losing another cup game ever.
Yeah, that feeling is.
We got West Ham.
We got a new Baldy in town, and he's kicking old Baldy out of Manchester.
So I want West Ham to win, but United are clapping those cheeks. Sheffield United Spurs. Is there any?
Wait, wasn't this supposed to be Sheffield United? Yeah, it was supposed to be Wrexham's game versus Spurs. Wrexham United wins. Wrexham.
But Wrexham are out, bro.
They're out.
They've been out.
Yeah, they're still winning this game.
Oh, true. Okay. The ghosts of Wrexham are winning this game. Spurs are going to slap Sheffield. Spurs have been playing well over the last couple weeks. Stellini's got them playing well.
Yeah, maybe we just hire Stellini when Conte leaves.
I mean, there's a thought process there.
Just keep him.
I
mean, if he might want to be a manager. You never know.
He's been Conte for over 10 years, I believe.
Might be time for him to spread his wings. Okay, so we also have two Premier League matches on Wednesday. Do you want
fun fact before we leave? Fun fact.
Stellini
is undefeated as a first team manager.
Yep, that's correct.
Not only undefeated, but he has wins in all 5 of the games that he has now managed in Conte's stead. I did find it absolutely hilarious that only 2 of those games were due to illness or being out for Conte. The other 3 were red cards.
So did Stellini was Conte back for the Milan match? Did he come and manage the Milan
Yes.
match? Weird.
Yes. Then they needed to. Then they needed to go. Yeah, they needed to go do a checkup.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
Which he did while he was in Italy, and the doctors told him we're going to have to do a little cleanup. Also, chill. You went back way too early.
Yep.
You're going to have to give it a couple weeks.
We talked about this last week. I remember now.
Yep. You forgot the Bristol City Manchester City match.
No, I didn't. I don't care.
Brad.
Pep in his press conference today said that Bristol City are undefeated in their last 12 matches, and that playing a championship team in the FA Cup is always very difficult. Playing away at their stadium is always difficult. Play at home, it's easier, but playing away at their stadium, very difficult. City are about to win like 5-0.
This is going to be.
I love sarcastic Pep.
This is going to be a case study of how little possession they are going to rival Leicester with XG.
Hey, all right. So look, if Bristol gets higher, we got to keep the stats. So if Bristol gets a higher XG than Leicester City,
they will.
Does Pep lose this game then? Would you count that as an L for City?
No. But City are going to win about 5-0.
Bristol, you're going to have less than 15% possession.
I'm not sure.
Probably more than that.
I'm not willing to say that. But
no, it depends. It depends. Are we watching like World Cup like Fox with the contested possession?
Oh, that's a good question. All right, so 2 Premier League matches this weekend, or this midweek. Some catch-up games for a couple teams. We've got the Arsenal-Everton match that's rescheduled. This is the one that I think Frank Lampard needs to come manage for Everton. And then we've got Liverpool-Wolves. Both those matches are on Wednesday. So that's what's coming up. You guys, as you guys are getting this podcast, what's up?
You don't have an FA Cup game?
No, we were supposed to be playing Bristol City, but the team that we lost, the team that beat us, is playing Bristol City. So
I understand.
Yeah, we lost to the second place team in England. It's not really a big it hurts, but it is what it is. All right. So that's all we got for you guys right now. A little bit longer today than we initially planned for these episodes. So if you're still sticking through and you're still listening, we really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for spending the last 45 minutes with us. We really appreciate it. And if you're new and you're still on the fence about hitting the subscribe button, I think you should just do it. Ring the sub notification bell. If you're on the podcast site, follow, 5-star, all that good stuff. Leave us a comment on YouTube so we can interact with you. We'll be getting to comments on tomorrow's episode in the news. So definitely check back on Thursday for that. And then Friday, we've got a preview of the Premier League again coming up, match week 26. So full weekend here, full week of Red Card Radio for you guys. And until then, hit us up on Twitter. That's at KSBradG. Down below, that's at Whiteheart_Sean. I'm at James Tiffany, and collectively we can be reached at redcard_radio. And until tomorrow, have a good one. Watch some football, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.